For the avoidance of doubt, the Simple Side does not provide investment, tax, or legal advice. As with any asset, the value of any asset class can go up or down, and there can be substantial risk that you lose your money buying, selling, holding, or investing in any asset. You should carefully consider whether trading or holding assets is suitable for you in light of your financial condition.
Welcome to the Simple Side. Market beating picks inside. There's no jargon and no time to waste. Join the Simple Side and end up in first place.
All right, welcome to the Simple Side, the only investing newsletter whose subscribers can remain calm in the face of volatility. Good morning, shareholders. Let's talk about some quick updates before we get into today's newsletter. I just want to update everybody and let them know that I am putting together a full new website for all paying subscribers that will allow you to track all of my trades, all of my portfolios, and especially all those wonderful politician and insider trades all in one place. It's in an extreme beta version right now, in a very, very, very beta version, but you can go and check that out at thesimpleside.news. Just go into your browser, type thesimpleside.news, and it'll take you to my website. And like I said, it's in very beta version, so go and check it out and then send me an email. Let me know what you want to see on there. Let me know how you want the website to be structured, and I will get things built just for you guys. Also, I want to update everybody on our copy trading partners. Those are going to be announced within the coming weeks. Start getting excited for that. I'm hoping that before the end of January, copy trading will be released and out for all subscribers. Also, if you didn't get to see it, or if for some reason you weren't subscribed to the newsletter at the beginning of 2025, I wrote the 2025 letter to investors, and it did very well this year. Everybody enjoyed reading that, so go and check that out. There's a link to it in today's newsletter. Again, you can find this at thesimpleside.substack.com. The new website is being built out, thesimpleside.news. So there's going to be two websites, but go and check that out. Also, as a reminder, for those of you that decided to go paid since that 2025 letter to investors, you now get access to all of our holdings, all of our portfolios, all of our picks. And I have a wonderful spreadsheet that you can go and check out that shows all of our current picks. So go ahead and click on that link, take you to that spreadsheet, go and check that out. You're going to have to request access, and I will confirm that you are a paying subscriber. So make sure you send me the email that you are a paying subscriber with, so I can make sure that it's actually you, and I will add you to that spreadsheet. Again, you can find that link at thesimpleside.substack.com, and this will be the first article that shows up. It'll be the headlining article on that website. Alrighty, let's talk about some past performance this week. So, of course, in this section of the newsletter, I always tell you about how our weekly buys have performed. Now, we've been reporting these weekly buys, or making these weekly buys, for 25 weeks now. 25 weeks in a row, haven't missed a single week. And over that time period, the SPY is down 0.48%. 0.48% in 25 weeks. That means annualized, the SPY returns negative 1%. Negative 1% annualized. The Simple Side pick portfolio that I've been putting together is up over 25 weeks, 16.26%. And annually, that translates to a 33.83% return. So we are absolutely crushing the SPY. And just this last week, we had a poor performance. We had negative 1.16% returns, whereas the SPY had negative 2.65% returns. So we outperformed by 1.49%. That is just ridiculous. Over the past 25 weeks, we've outperformed by 16.75%, and annualized, we're sitting at 34.83% higher returns. Again, you can see all the graphics that show all this in the newsletter, so go and check that out now. Also, before we get into today's reporting overview, I kind of switched up the format, so I hope that you enjoy this. I'm going to cover a quick portfolio update from our flagship fund every week alongside our politician trading report and our insider trading report. Of course, paid subscribers get access to all the premium content, including our weekly buy opportunities, our take profit percentages on those weekly buy opportunities, mergers and acquisitions news, top investment ideas, micro cap picks, and expected stock movements from options trading. So let's get into all of that now. Of course, I track two ETFs, Republican and Democrat tracking ETFs. One of them is Nance, ticker symbol NANC. The other is Cruise, ticker KRUZ. Nance is down 3% this week, down 4.45% this past month, and down 1.12% year to date. Cruise, on the other hand, is, well, on the same hand. It's down 2.25% this week, down 4.55% this month, and down 0.89% year to date. This really shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody who's been following the newsletter or following along with these politician trades for the past couple of weeks. We saw politicians make major sell-offs in their holdings. I mean, really hitting record numbers last week, which, funny enough, is right before the market started to take its little crash, which is definitely not insider trading. Wink, wink. There were only 8 active politicians over the past 30 days. They only traded a total of 56 times, and the total trade volume was 1.35 million. Now, for reference, last week we saw over $1 billion of volume from politicians. Many more than 56 trades, I think in the thousands of trades, if I'm not mistaken, and tons of politicians making all those trades. Now, normally, I would take the time here to highlight a great stock from a recent politician trade, but really there's nothing appealing here. Last week I mentioned, like I've been saying, that there's been a major pullback in politician buys. In fact, they've mostly been selling. In fact, they've entirely been selling. And this past week, it was just more selling. The largest trade was Markwayne Mullin, who sold between $250,000 and $500,000 worth of an Invesco commodity ETF. Again, this is just continued sentiment from last week. For this reason, I'm not going to be recommending any buys from the 5 most recent politician trades, but you can go and check those out. There was an NVIDIA sell, a General Electric buy, a Vanguard Real Estate ETF buy, like I said, that commodity ETF sell, and an iShares Emerging Markets buy from Markwayne Mullin as well. So go and check out those 5 recent buys. Again, find this at thesimpleside.substack.com or thesimpleside.news, either one of those places. All right, now let's talk about insider trading. I track another ticker symbol here, ticker SURE, Sure, which is also down this week. Down 2.63% this week, down 5.69% over the past 30 days, and down 1.42% year to date. Now, the monthly buy to sell ratio in the market this week for insiders is 0.29. And this is below the average of 0.4, which indicates the markets, at least insiders in the markets, showing a slight sell. Now, I don't see anything that I really want to highlight or buy this week within the insider trading highlights either. The 2 largest insider trades this week were both sells, and they totaled over $500 million, while the top 2 largest buys totaled a whopping, and make sure you're sitting down for this because it's crazy, a whopping $20 million. That's right. Total sells outpaced total buys, $500 million to $20 million. I mean, this is unreasonable. Anybody who's looking at the market right now and saying that it's a great buying opportunity is probably lost, at least according to politicians and insiders. In fact, there's so little conviction, in this market. Picking a stock from an insider trade or a politician trade just is a challenge. When there's just no buys happening, or the buys that are happening are so minuscule, it's hard to kind of make it make sense. But this week we did see the 2 major buys for CVI and JELD, which topped the charts. Both stocks are sitting at their 52-week low, which is pretty interesting. But if you're thinking about buying one of these stocks, I would urge you to wait before doing so. The buyer for CVI was Carl Icahn, whose 1-year portfolio performance is negative 36.29%. Negative 36.29% over the past year. And the other buyer was Turtle Creek Asset Management, who has also underperformed the market since, I think, quarter 1 or 2 of 2020. So just not the most reputable buyers buying at these low prices. All right, now we get into the good stuff here, portfolio updates. So you can go and see this graphic. It just shows that our current return since we updated the portfolio on January the 2nd are 1.18%, where the SPY over the same time frame has returned negative 1.51%. And this is for our flagship portfolio. For those of you that don't know, our flagship fund or our flagship portfolio is our long-term core holdings. These are the backbone of everything that we do here at the newsletter. And, even though we're just about a week into the new year, we're still on an outperforming track. And so I'm glad to have a couple of shining stars that are helping us start off the year so right. And I'm going to share our current top pick for free in today's newsletter, and I'm going to cover it in the podcast as well. Our best performing holding as of now is sitting at a crisp 7.62% return so far this year and makes up around 5% of our total holdings in the flagship fund. And that is ticker symbol KLA, also known as KLA Corporation, which operates in the semiconductor space and handles chip manufacturers' process control. This generates about $8.7 billion in revenue for them. And I know that sounds like a lot of jargon. What is chip manufacturer process control? And believe it or not, it's actually quite a bit simpler than it sounds. The simple side of what KLA does is optimize the production of semiconductor chips. And so the basis of the buy for this company is that these chips are getting smaller. They're getting smaller and smaller. The race to make the most efficient and the smallest chip package has been going on for decades. And this is the reason why KLA is so valuable. As these chips continue to get smaller, the manufacturing process continues to get more precise and more demanding. That means that there's more demand for KLA services, and they're one of the few companies that operate in this space. KLA is also held by a lot of top traders, people like Warren Buffett, people like George Soros, people that are these massive whales in the market. They also hold a lot of KLA, and that's just another reason for buying it. But there's also some great fundamentals that the stock has as well. Some of the things that I look at, let me say this first. It ranks a 9.1 out of 10 on my personal models. And at this high rank, you basically know that it's primarily being driven by high profitability and incredible growth. So the company operates with some of the most impressive margins I have ever seen. We're talking about a gross margin of 59.75%, which is just unruly. But then we have even better operating margin at 37.6% and a net margin of 28.92%. I mean, those numbers are just incredible, even for the industry. Not only for this company as itself historically, but also for the industry. It's sitting in the top, I think, the upper quartile of all stocks in the industry. So we're really happy about that as well. Another reason to buy it. I also want to point out that the company has been growing revenue by 17.4% a year for the past 3 years and has been growing EBITDA by 16% for 3 years, while also growing their cash flow, by 21%. Oh, almost just spilled my water there, over the same time frame. So it's just hard to say that this stock isn't a great buy. I also just want to point out as the markets continually get more volatile, as we've seen over the past couple of months and years and really weeks, I think companies like KLA are going to make they're going to have the cash basically to make strategic investments and further increase the company's value, especially when things start to get cheap as the market takes a downturn. And so we're going to be looking for KLA to continue to be a stronghold for the portfolio as time goes on. I also want to mention that analysts are predicting the stock to continue its upward trajectory with a 15.63% upside over the next year. I also ran a quick discounted cash flow analysis for the company, which, for those of you that don't care, for those of you that don't know, is just a fancy way to see what your margin of safety is for a stock, or basically it's just a fancy valuation method. The stock looks to be at least 13% undervalued in the near term, and so we're happy to be holding the company where it's at right now. And the current flagship fund portfolio as a whole since 2020 is up over 290%. And so for this year, we're continuing this run and happy to do so. All right, the next part of the newsletter is for all the paying subscribers. They get access to all of our weekly buys. They get access to mergers and acquisitions news. They get access to our top investment ideas. They get access to microcap picks. and they get access to the latest and greatest updates in our implied options price movement calculator. Basically what this does is looks at stocks that have earnings dates coming up and then looks at their options to see what their volatility looks like. And then, of course, we make predictions on the expected price movement of the stock and then market bullish, bearish, or neutral. We've had a lot of people actually trade options on these stocks and do relatively well. I've had a couple people reach out to me and just let me know that they were enjoying seeing these, so we're going to keep it going in the newsletter. So if you want to go paid and get access to all of that, do it now. I think there should be the ability for you to get a 7-day free trial if you haven't used it before. So go use that free trial, check everything out. Of course, email me at thesimplesidenews@gmail.com. Check out the website and let me know what you think about it, thesimpleside.news. And go and check out the newsletter at thesimpleside.substack.com. I know that's a lot of information I threw at you. Again, just reach out to me with any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. And I look forward to seeing you next week.